Good morning. I'm looking more and more like a lion. Oh well. My hair needs to be washed. Oh, all right. It is September 7th, and it may have actually gotten into the 60s for a low. Come on up, baby. Gabby is back. Because yesterday it was nice enough that I opened the windows. And this morning, I'm not running right now. I got to figure out what's going on with my knee. And so we went for a bike ride. For the first, 10 minutes of the bike, I'm like, do I need a jacket? Do I need long sleeves? And then I got hot. So the weather's really interesting right now. But it's that time of the year where cool in the morning, blazing hot in the afternoon. Welcome to Texas. So, really? Are you going to keep talking? You have something to say? Huh? Would you like to say it on camera? Huh? Would you like to say it on camera? Huh? Okay. Because you needed to see what Gabby looks like. Rita I can pick up. Gabby I cannot. My husband can pick her up, cuddle her, carry her around. She will sit in my lap. I am allowed to pet her. I cannot pick her up. She will not let me do that. All right, it is September 7th. The title is The Law of Good Brings Me Satisfaction. And our quote is, "Devotion is God gnosis, and he who knoweth God, being filled with all good things, thinks godly thoughts." And that is thrice greatest Hermes, which I think is the Kybalion. There is a power operating through, a presence inspiring, an intelligence guiding, and a law of good sustaining you. Upon this presence, this power, and this law, you may place complete reliance. Because you live in this divine presence, and because it is in you, you may know that the creative law of good, which is infinite and which has all power, can do for you or bring you anything necessary to your complete happiness. Its whole desire for you is one of freedom and joy. Say, "I know that freedom and joy are mine today. The freedom and joy express themselves in my experience. There is nothing in me that can obstruct their passage. I permit them to flow through me in all their wonder and might. I am conscious of an infinite wisdom directing me. Whatever I ought to know, I shall know. Whatever I ought to do, I shall do. Whatever belongs to me will come to me. My every thought and decision is molded by intelligence and expressed through law and order in my experience. I not only think upon and realize the meaning of this truth, I am impelled to act upon it intelligently, creatively, without confusion, doubt, or hesitation. With joy, I enter into the fulfillment of life." All right. So, the law of good brings me satisfaction. Where is that line? Okay. It's a run-on sentence. "But, which has all the power, can do for you or bring to you anything necessary for your complete happiness." So the law can do that. But two things have to happen for the law to do that. One, you have to tell the law what it is that you want. All right? Yes, the law is kind of a mind reader, but you have to state it. And then you have to be willing to accept it. Two things. You got to state what you want, and then you've got to be willing to accept it. And really, honestly, we're bad at both. We're bad at both. We're bad about stating what we want. One of the reasons why we're bad at stating what we want is because we don't know. Now, why don't we know what we want? Well, it's called mixed messages, because we have all of these sources of, and I would say information, but then I can hear my professor in the background. He was my research methodology, Dr. Benageri. saying it's not information. What it is data. Okay? So we have a lot of data coming at us all the time. It's not even really information coming at us. So therefore, we're confused. What do we actually want? Most of us want peace. Most of us want clarity. Most of us want to be comfortable. What does it take to be comfortable? There lies the rub. Because we don't know. We don't know. Because, we've got advertisers telling us, well, if you want to be happy, then you need to look like this, or you need to own this. And so we're confused. We don't know what we want. So part of the purpose of spiritual practice, really, Gabby, is to figure out what we want. What is it that we actually need? What is it that we actually want to be safe, content, happy, joyful, whatever, adjective you want to use there, whatever descriptive word you want to use. We don't know. So we got to figure it out. And that's part of what spiritual practice can help us figure out. If we're so busy trying to fill up a hole in ourselves with stuff, it's a black hole. It's a black hole. It's never going to be filled with stuff. So we got to figure out what we want. And then the second part of that is we have to be willing to accept it. And that's where our worthiness issues get to us. It's like, okay, well, I've asked for what I want, but I'm not getting it. Well, why am I not getting it? Well, do you think you're worthy of it? The easy answer is yes. You are absolutely worthy of peace and comfort and joy and love and happiness. You are worthy of that. You are worthy of that by virtue of the fact that you are here, because you are a beloved child of God. But it doesn't help that society and culture and religion are constantly telling us, well, you're not worthy by virtue of this. You're not thin enough. You're a woman. You're too light. You're too dark. You're too this. You're too that. You're a redhead. You're not worthy. Whatever. And none of that's true. But we have to be able to reject that and then be willing to accept what we've asked for. So the two things we have to do, figure out what we want, and then be willing to accept it. Sounds easy, and I know it's not. And so that's the point. Again, that's what spiritual practice is about. That's what science of mind is about. Science of mind is about filtering out all of the nonsense going on around us constantly. Filtering all of that out, figuring out what it is that we really want, what we really need, and then being willing to accept it. And being willing to accept the guidance that gets us there. Because we can state what we want, we can be willing to accept it, but we still have to get out there and go do. Because Spirit can do for us what Spirit can do through us. So, it doesn't mean that we can sit on our couch and wait for it to come to us. Sometimes it does. I'm not denying that. Sometimes it does. Most of the time, we got to get up and go do. Because we are divine distribution centers. We are spirit in motion. We are activity centers. We are activity centers. Which means we have to take action. And frequently, Spirit will bring to us what it is that we want within our normal range of activity. Spirit's not going to ask us to go climb to the top of the highest mountain. Unless that's what you want to do. Spirit will bring to you what you want within the sphere of your normal life. Unless you've asked for more than that. So you go out and you live your life. And you do. It harkens back to what do you do before enlightenment? You chop wood and carry water. What do you do after enlightenment? You chop wood, you carry water. Spirit will do the work within your regular sphere. It's just you'll notice that life is a little smoother and a little bit better, and it will just continue to do that. Or, what Jesse's working on today is Spirit just clicking into place. I mean, your life can change like that for the better. We know it can do it the other way, but it can do that for the better too. So that's yeah. What are the two things today? What do I want? And am I willing to accept? It's like I know what I want, and I'm willing to accept it. That's it. So the law of good brings me satisfaction. Devotion is God gnosis, and he who knoweth God, being filled with all good things, thinks godly thoughts. And David Bruner asked that question today. What's the difference of believing in God and believing as God? I had an answer. Is it the end all be all? No. But I think it was a pretty good answer. All right. So that was thrice greatest Hermes. There is a power operating through, a presence inspiring, an intelligence guiding, and a law of good sustaining you. So right there is a power operating through you, a presence inspiring you, if you're listening, an intelligence guiding you, if you're listening, and a law of good sustaining you. Well, you don't have to be listening to that. There is a law of good sustaining you. Your life will work better if you are conscious of that law of good, if you are conscious of that power operating through you. Recognizing that you have that power flowing through you that you can use. Upon this presence, this power, and this law, you may place complete reliance because it works. It works, and it works no matter what, as long as we're working it. You know, and it doesn't judge, and it won't change its mind. It can't do that. Once it is set in motion, because you live in this divine presence, and because it is in you, remember I said you're a beloved child of God, you may know that the creative law of good, which is infinite, not bound by time and space, and which has all power, can do for you or bring to you anything necessary to your complete happiness. Its whole desire for you is one of freedom and joy. Its whole desire. God wants you to be happy. God wants you to be happy. Spirit wants you to be happy. Because the world works better when we're happy. So, we're into the treatment part. Say, I know that freedom and joy are mine today. Statement. I know that freedom and joy are mine today. This freedom and joy express themselves in my experience. There is nothing in me that can obstruct their passage. Okay? The only thing that can get in their way is me. So I am stating that there is nothing in me to obstruct their passage. I permit them to flow through me in all their wonder and might. So I have to be willing to get out of my own way. You have to be willing to get out of your own way. I am conscious of an infinite wisdom directing me. Whatever belongs to me will come to me. If it comes to me, then it belongs to me. If it doesn't come to me, it didn't. I know, it's easy. It's cliche. It's like, if you love something, set it free, and if it comes back to you, then it was yours. Yeah. If it comes to you, it was yours. You don't have to set it free. Just don't hold on. Don't white knuckle things. Don't hold on too tight. Because sometimes when you're holding on too tight, you miss the things that actually are for you. I am conscious of an infinite wisdom directing me. Whatever I ought to know, I shall know. Because we have access to the divine mind. The mind that created us is the same mind we use. If we're willing to be quiet and listen, whatever I ought to do, I shall do because I'm being guided. Whatever belongs to me will come to me. My every thought and decision is molded by intelligence and expressed through law and order into my experience. molded by intelligence, that divine mind. I not only think upon and realize the meaning of this truth, I am impelled to act upon it intelligently, creatively, without confusion, doubt, or hesitation. As I have confusion, doubt, hesitation as I'm reading it. So divine intelligence is ours to use, and we will be guided by that divine intelligence into the actions that we need to take. With joy, I enter into the fulfillment of life. With joy, I enter into the fulfillment of life. All right. Our mission, should we choose to accept it. They're all run-on sentences today. Our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to permit freedom and joy to flow through us in all their wonder and might. That's the mission. To permit freedom and joy, because it belongs to us. Every single living thing, living being, deserves freedom and joy. Every single living thing deserves freedom and joy. And so it's up to us to permit it to flow through us. It is up to us to permit it to flow through us. So we got to get out of our own way. And getting out of our own way sometimes looks like figuring out really what we want, not what we've been told we want, but figuring out what we really want. And knowing that we're worthy of it. Being willing to accept it and knowing that we're worthy of it. We're worthy of it because we're beloved children of God. All right, beloveds, I'm going to move into the process of my day. It feels like Monday, but it's not. It's Tuesday. It is Tuesday. So I'm going to get myself together and get off to work, and you are going to do what you need to do. So I would encourage you, as I always do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever that looks like. Whatever that looks like. I had a nice day. I did a few things around the house. Not a whole lot, but a few. I had a nice long bike ride yesterday. A shorter one today because, yeah. And, you know, I took care of myself yesterday. And I'm going to continue to do that today. So I encourage you to do that. Loving, kind, compassion. Practice on yourself. 1, you deserve it. You deserve your own loving, kind, compassion. And 2, the more you practice on yourself, the more you have available for the people that you run into that need it. All right, beloveds. I encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body today, whatever. As the weather cools down, that'll be easier. I understand. It's been hot. It's one of the reasons why I've been biking a whole lot more. On days it's too hot to do anything else, biking is good. You make your own breeze. I got my face full of sun. I encourage you to do that. Go get your face full of sun first thing in the morning. Drink plenty of water. Drink plenty of water. All right. I don't think we've got anything going on Tuesday. I'm not sure. But you can always email info@creativelife.org to find out. Oh. Open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven now. It's all around you. It does take a willingness to look for the good, to look for the beautiful, to experience it, to see it, even in the messiness, even in the juiciness. It's right here, right now, right around you. All right. Okay. And there. My brain has shorted out. All right. Well, you are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased. So do what you need to do to make it a wonderful day, a fantastic day, an amazing day. A good day. And if that's too much pressure, simply have a day. All right? Gabby agrees with me. You hear her? Check us out on all the social medias. The Creative Life Spiritual Center, the Creative Life Spark is the Instagram. I am the Running Rev Ryan on all three of the major ones. Maybe we'll get on TikTok eventually. Reverend David should be on Facebook Live around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back at 9 a.m. with you. Take care. Know that you're loved.